Greetings world, this is Eliyah Israel aka Young Chi, and it is currently 1:11 p.m. or a.m. We'll just turn 1:12. But basically what I want to do in this video is first give a shout out to my brother Malik and anybody who have a birthday today, 11/11. So shout out to y'all, happy birthday, hope y'all having a good one. But what I want to do in this video is talk a little bit about the 1:11 and 11:11 phenomenon. And basically, during last year was like a really spiritual year for me. It was a lot of spiritual things that happened. And one of the events that stood out last year was I had a dream, and in that dream, I was at a party on a bridge, and everybody around me was having fun. It was like a real live party on the bridge. Everybody was amped up, turned up, having fun and everything. But for some reason, like, I just felt like I wasn't having fun. And I noticed somebody standing over, like, toward the rail or toward the edge of the bridge. And I'll leave their name out, but I went over to go stand next to them. And when I stood next to them, like, it was an instrumental playing in the background. And when I stood next to them, they told me that I had angels that loved me. And when they said that, I felt like this glowing sensation of fulfillment. And it was like a gold light. And the instrumental in the background started to get louder. It started playing louder. And as it got louder, that glowing sensation got even more intense and brighter. And it got so intense to the point to where it woke me up out of my sleep. And when I woke up, I looked at the clock to see what time it was, and it was 1:11 a.m. And ever since then, ever since that experience, I always, interpreted it as, each of the ones representing an angel that's, looking out over, watching out over me. And I got up out of my bed, and I said a little prayer. And I went over to my computer and I tried to reproduce the instrumental that was being played in my dream because it was real live. And so I kind of got the basics. It sounded better in the dream, but I kind of got the basic sound because it was like piano and strings playing in the background. And so I did my best to try to reproduce that. But yeah, ever since then, like, I just been noticing that number sequence 1:11 or 11:11, and I don't know, like, if it's because it's just us seeing a series of ones on a clock, or it's usually dealing with something with technology, like with a clock, or I don't know, just something dealing with numbers. And I don't know if it's the number sequence 111 or 1111 that stand out. But I just started noticing it. And like, it'll be something, I hear on the radio that might strike a chord with me. Or, something interesting may happen, or I may hear something or see something interesting. And I look over at the clock and it'll be 1:11 or it'll be 11:11. And, I mean, it's just been happening so frequently, like so often, to the point to where I started thinking, like, this can't be a coincidence. This is just happening way too often. And, so I started asking around like, family members and stuff. That's mostly the people that I be around, is family. And, they're telling me, like, I asked them how they been noticing any, like, number sequences or any words or anything that's been happening that occurs in their life, that reoccurs in their life, that they notice, that happens on a regular. And they were telling me, no, I don't know, that's some other stuff, just saying, saying stuff like that. And, the beautiful thing about being in society, the society that we live in today, that's so interconnected, is, you don't have to feel like you're so alone and crazy. We live in a society that's so interconnected now. You can get online and connect with other crazy people and see what they're going through. So I ended up getting online and searching, 111 or 1111, and sure enough, there are people all around the world that are having the same occurrences of seeing this number sequence of 111 or 1111. And basically, what I've been noticing from what everybody's been saying, has been experiencing it, is it's an angelic call. And I thought that was just really fascinating. That, most people were saying, like, it's a wake-up call, an angelic message, or interdimensional message and communication. And basically it's to remind us, while we're here, the light workers that are here on earth, to remember our purpose of why we are here. So, I thought that was very, very fascinating. And one more thing that I thought was really cool, that I had searched out, was if you get into the math of this number sequence, you start to notice that each factor corresponds to the number of ones, and each factor corresponds to the product. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. If you take 1 times 1, that equals 1. If you take 11 times 11, that equals 121. If you take 1,111, or if you take 111 times 111, you get, what, 12,321. Then if you take 1,111 times 1,111, or basically raise it to the power of 2, you get 1,234,321. Now, I wrote it down on paper so you can kind of get a better visual on where this is going. But basically, to show you, the number of factors, or the number of ones in each factor, corresponds to the number sequence of the product. And the product basically counts up to the number of ones, and then it counts up and counts down. And it corresponds to the number of ones. So you see, like at 111, we have 3 ones. So it counts up 1, 2, 3, and then counts back down to 1. If you go up to 1100, 111, you see we have 5 ones. It counts up to 5, and then it counts back down. And it does that all the way up to 9. We have 9 ones. I'm not even going to get into how big that number is. But we have 9 ones. So that's basically, 9 ones raised to the power of 2. And it counts up to 9, and then it counts back down. And then I got a little bit curious. I said, well, what if we go... I stopped at 9 because that just kept it simple. But then I said, what if we go up to 15? Or what if we go up to 20? And basically what starts to happen is you count up to 9. The number sequence counts up to 9. And then another number sequence starts to grow between these two sequences. So, and it gets a little bit more complicated, but you start to see a pattern that starts to happen, but it starts to grow between these two numbers. So that's just a little bit about the math of it. Again, like I think that just shows, the genius of God. It's just very, very fascinating seeing how it all correlates and works, how it all corresponds together. Um I mean, it's just fascinating. I thought that today will be a good day, and at the time will be a good time. 11:11 at 11:11 will be a good time to share this information. This is something that I've been experiencing for some time now, and I guess it's just a message or a reminder, that we have work here to do, and to remember that we're being watched by higher dimensional beings. So, we want to make sure we put on a good show. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up and close it up by saying this. And this was some words that I heard from another guy who was going through the same thing. It was an older white guy who was probably like in his 40s. He was about in his 40s. But basically, one of the things that he said was, people who start noticing the sequence, it's a sign to them. And, one of the things for them to do is, once you start noticing it, just pause, take a moment out of your day, take a deep breath. And just give thanks. Show gratitude for having air in your lungs and a heartbeat in your chest. Give thanks. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Y'all have a good day. Peace.